Oops. Left the Coffee Talk logo in there. Here we go. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. The business of we are back. It's been a couple of years since we've done this, but we are back. I'm going to be doing them ad hoc. No, not going to be doing them as close as we, try to do them every month. I'm going to be doing them as I get to them. We're going to be doing whenever we find somebody interesting to chat about. I've got two in the hot, one today, got one coming up in November. And then as I find interesting people to talk to, I'm going to be doing it. Today, though, I am honored to welcome back episode my buddy Robbie from Pirate PR. Those of you that watch the channel, those of you that pay attention know I retweet a lot of his stuff. I did a special stream of his games last week. They are based over in Europe. And I want to welcome to the show, Robbie. Hello, Robbie.
Hey, Jeff. Nice to be here.
Welcome to the show. Thank you. Shut up. Stop it. The clap goes on way too long. Thank you for dropping into the show. I appreciate you being here, taking time out of your busy schedule and how busy you are. So, Robbie, Pirate PR, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What do you do? I know we talked a little bit off screen, but...
Yeah, sure. I'm Robbie from Belgium. I started Pirate PR as a PR agency, so it's right there in the name. We put the R in PR, as we say in the slogan.
Arr.
Exactly. And then, it's founded for the sole purpose of helping indie devs, like smaller companies, solo devs, smaller studios, to still give them an affordable option at doing marketing for their game. Because it can get expensive quite fast, and I've got solutions for them to make it cheap, or to just be on the sidelines to help them and then make them do most of the work actually, but I'll coach them, guide them through it, and be their first mate on their trip through success, hopefully.
Oh, that's where the first, I see that, because it said you were the first mate of Pirate. That's your idea. So they're the captain, and they
are the captain of their game. Yeah.
I got it.
And then, the way I'm involved with their marketing and PR is totally up to them and their budgets, of course, and my available time. And then we find a way to work together to get the most out of their game and their marketing beats.
Great.
And a little bit short maybe about myself as a background is... my background in gaming is that I've been playing games all of my life. I actually went to high school studying, more like higher education, to study game development, but this was in 2005, 2008, which was non-existing basically in Belgium. And even during my studies there, I quickly realized I wasn't going to learn a lot. Even though I did work on one game that came out that was made together with Larian, but it was like aimed at kids, like nothing like Divinity Original Sin or Baldur's Gate, but Catnet Kick 2, which was a game for kids, and I made mini games in Flash for it.
Nice. Old Flash game.
This was 2008, right? Like right before it died, even. And then 10 years of very boring giving support for the European Commission in SharePoint of all things. But in my free time, and there was some free time even during the business hours, because support means you only help when people ask, and there's some off time. And I spent that off time reviewing games. Then for This Gen Gaming, currently I'm also still doing it as a hobby for Life is Xbox, and I've got my own podcast. But since 2017, I've basically been covering games as a hobby journalist.
Cool. Yeah, and it's unfinished, so evolved. I can't watch it. So I could watch it, but I wouldn't understand it. So
But my writing has always been in English. That's also when I started like my Bloody Good Reviews social media account, basically to boost my own writing a little bit. And eventually, as many journalists doing, and more these days, we evolve into working on the games that we are covering first, and then doing PR for them.
Okay.
And that's where we are right now. I started Pirate PR in 2022, so the company is still pretty young. It's just turned 3 years old in September.
Right. Excellent. That's great. I know I followed you. I know I played a bunch of your games. Even I did focused on 3 of your games last week, and really enjoyed all 3 of the games that I played. So we were just talking about that off screen. I hate this place. I definitely hated that place. It's aptly named. Perfect name for it, because I was like, oh my God, I hate this place. What is this? What fresh hell is this attacking me? What is this thing attacking? Surprisingly, though, I parkour. As I tell people find, I'm not a dog guy. But I found
which has the perfect name, right? I was so in love. I think that game was the easiest pitch I ever made to IGN to get an exclusive out of them.
Okay.
Because I think they were sold as soon as they read the subject line. Like parkour, a parkour with a dog. Yeah, I'm in.
I'm not a dog guy, but it was one of yours. You had said, here are some ones to try. And so I pulled it. I went, all right, this looks interesting. So you had a long list of ones to try. So I just
that's a free extra I give to my clients, which is whenever there's a Steam Next Fest happening, instead of sending out like an email for each and every one of them, because it would just flood the email inboxes of all of my press lists. I send out a free one with all of the games that are participating, and last time it was 19 titles, so it was quite a list.
It was. I kind of went through them, and I kind of went, okay, this looks interesting. This one looks interesting, and then and then I played that. I found that one quite. Once I got through the tutorial, but you got to do the tutorial. That's fine, and I'm also a bad gamer, so the tutorials are good. But I found myself just loving it, just running, being this dog and shooting and killing and realizing, I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to sneak up on him. I died a bunch of times, but I quite enjoyed myself playing that game. So,
and the demo is still up if anybody hearing this wants to give it a go. And then we didn't really announce the release date yet, but that'll be next year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it looked. A lot of stuff is coming out next year. Oh my God! Don't do it in May. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out next year, which I thought was coming out this year. So,
and you said don't be coming out in May, which I know why, but everybody else is also rushing to not do that. So
come in May, I know.
All of the months before are going to be pretty tight together.
To us on the outside. To us gamers on the outside, it seemed like everybody was kind of waiting to see when they were going to announce. Are they going to announce in October? Was it going to be November? Was it going to be in 2025? And then they announced it for May next year. So then everybody started sliding their slots. And even I heard from a couple of the indie devs I work with when Silksong came out.
That was Indie Apocalypse, because everybody I was talking with that was doing even not a release but an announcement in that period was like, should we wait? Should we postpone? And then Hades 2 followed shortly after. It was a very fun period to do indie game PR. Not really.
Because there's a couple of indie guys that I chat to quite often, and I played their games and whatever. But he said, I'm pushing back the demo or the release a couple of weeks because I played his demo, Pompeii the Legacy. I played the demo and I'd been talking to him about when he was releasing it. He kept me filling me in, and then he goes, so I'm going to release it here. He goes, I got to change it because Silksong's coming out. So I'm gonna push it back 2 weeks. And
we had one game wedged in between Hades and Silksong, which was Katanaut. Still really a big fan of it, by the way. And
I've played that. Now he worked with Acclaim. Right, he got part of Acclaim.
Yeah, and that's because through me as well, kind of, because I was also working for Acclaim, and then I introduced him because he mentioned to me he wanted to bring the game to consoles, but he didn't know how to port himself. So Acclaim is basically onboarded as the console publisher, but because Acclaim was then decided to do a showcase for all of their titles in September. We basically picked the release date of Katanaut as that date. And then have the out now basically being not the shadow drop, but the mic drop moment of our first game is out now.
Yeah. I saw that, and I had the demo all queued up, and I think I had talked to him before, and then I saw that day it was launching that day, and I reached out and he sent me the code for the full game, and it was awesome. This is what happens when you work during the day. Oh, what's that? Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! Oh, it's got a claim on it. That's awesome. And a Catan on the other side.
On the other one.
That's awesome.
It's a real one.
That is.
I had two of them made, a blue one and a red one, and the other one was raffled away.
Oh, that is awesome. So I had pinged him, and once I saw the Acclaim thing, and he goes, it's launching now. I'm playing it tonight. He goes, here's a code. So he gave me the code for the full game. and it was great. And I have a friend of mine who does a podcast, and she shows off some demos and stuff. And so she showed off a demo of it, and she went, no one's ever heard of this game. And I said, hi, sorry, I played it last night.
Yeah, and we actually did well because
it's a fun little game.
Based on the press releases we did, we got it for 50,000, I think, like new wish lists.
Yeah.
Lots of people added it to the wish list, but the problem with wish list is it's basically I'll buy it later at a discount that people do as a mental hook. But then if you release between a few bigger titles, suddenly you're on the backlog a little bit, and they're like, I'll buy this at a bigger discount later because right now I'm busy working on these titles. And then, Silksong is not a game that you beat in 5 hours. So.
No.
So yeah, but they're really proud of that one. So one of our flagship titles this year performed really well as well in like critical with the reviews on Steam. I mean, being at 92% positive.
Wow, it was a fun game. I have to admit, I will admit, it was a fun game. I enjoyed playing it. I've gone back a couple of times to play it. So yeah, I have gone back a couple of times and played it. So fun time. Yeah. It was a fun, and you got to work with Acclaim, so that was awesome for a smaller dev, and I guess you had lots to do with that, so that's good.
Yeah, to be clear, everything marketing-wise for Katana right now was the dev who paid it and out of pocket.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool.
And then if I'm helping still on Katana next year for the console release, then it will be Acclaim.
I got you.
Just to clarify that.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because some people are going like, oh, he's got a lot of marketing budget behind the game, but everything that happened was the dev's own efforts so far.
I got you. Cool. Okay, so question one, and these are in no particular order. So how do you define the role of PR in today's gaming industry? Because today's gaming industry is just, as you know, crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's just like every time I open up the news, it's this company's doing this, or this company is folding, or or you got something like Mind's Eye, which had a lot of buzz but didn't.
I'm super happy I'm doing PR for indies and not for something like Ubisoft or something, because having to reword every single day how you are firing 100 people and making it seem positive to the outside world does not sound like a fun job to me. I just saw one yesterday where they were basically like posting on Twitter about letting people go, but they reworded it as advancing their careers. Like, advancing it outside.
Yep.
Luckily, I don't do that kind of PR. No, sir. Just announcing games and making sure people play them. And that's how I see my role. When I started the company, we offered a lot of services, probably too many, because we still weren't really sure of what's going to be popular, what's going to be in most demands. I was still expecting to do a lot of social media and community work as well back then. But I've really narrowed it down these days to just sending out press releases, not just to press, also to creators, because as you're very well aware, written press is in a decline and people turn to video media first and foremost these days. But still 50-50 on my list. And then, making sure that when a game comes out, everybody who needs it has access to the codes. Or the opposite of that, everybody who asks a code but really doesn't deserve one, or is just trying to sell the key or something, make sure that those people never get one. That's also an equal important part of the job.
I've seen. Was it you on Twitter that calls them out? I think I've
all
seen
the time.
I think I see you calling them out, and I know you reach out to the other PR companies, and you reach out to the
and that's the thing. I can do this naming and shaming thing basically because first it's a deterrent for other people to go like, oh shit, people are finding out about us, so we should maybe stop doing it. Hopefully, that's the best possible outcome. But I'm just one person in my own company, so my own. I mean, any risk I take with doing something like that publicly is a risk I take on my own name. And I understand that a PR agent working for a bigger PR agency or working for a bigger company, they can't do that because it's just too risky.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but there's always going to be cheaters, right?
Yeah, but I think it's important that people see this because at the same time, to like smaller creators, I also try to explain like why some people don't get a code, and for them it's incredibly valuable to know that, okay, because even if I'm small, I might still get a code, but that field where I explain why I'm asking a code is much more important to me than some big name. And it also explains again to some people like why does it take so long to send out codes, because there's an entire process of checking everybody, vetting every single new request from people you don't know yet.
I have taken advice from you when I don't get one or I get turned down. I always send back a nice little email saying, okay, thanks for your consideration. Well, perhaps again. I've never, a lot of times I've just ignored it. I'm like, oh, okay, fine, be like that. But I've, learned the process more from talking with people like you and some of my other friends in PR. And so I took your advice and I just dropped a little note saying, okay, thanks a lot. Hopefully think of me for the next one,
Yeah, it's the same for us, because you probably apply for a few games and you don't get all of them approved.
Nope.
The opposite happens with us, where we are pitching the game to some people and maybe only 10 or 20% say, yes, sure, I'll try it out, but all the rest just give us silence. But it's part of the hustle and trying to get attention.
It is, but I've taken some advice from you, and I've tried to just be a little friendly and just drop them back and say, okay, perhaps next time. Or even when I email PR, like the company directly, like I might email the devs PR department directly, and they'll come back and say, okay, yeah, no, we're not doing something right now, or whatever. And I'll send off my media kit. I'll send off stats. I'll send them off all my channels. I give them everything, so when they look at the email, they see it. It's not just give me a key, or sponsor me, or do something, right? I try to give them as much information, and sometimes they'll email back, and I'll just always thank them. I say, okay, thanks for your time. Thank you for taking the time out of your time to take a look. And other times, I was playing one game, and I played the demo, and I played the demo Saturday night. I thought this was really cool, and I just emailed their PR department. The guy emailed me back on Sunday. He goes, here you go.
Yeah. Exactly. And plus it helps build your relationship with teams, because sometimes I'll go to Gamescom and I'll play a demo there, and then I'll come home and there's a new updated demo and I play it. I upload it to my own private channel, and then I'll send it to the PR agency, and then a little bit later, and this was for Bluebird team, and then Chronos the New Down, and they send me a nice little press package at home to like thank me for the efforts.
I've never done that. Oh, just kind of play it and then just send it to them saying, here, I've played this. Here's, I've never thought
I didn't get a code, because at this point it was still a demo.
No, I know, I understand that, but I play a lot of demos. Sometimes they're yours, sometimes they're others. Sometimes there's people I've chatted to on Twitter, who people see I like your tweets, or I interact with you on Twitter, or interact with Zelkos from Pompeii, or Albert from Rod, and so then they'll follow me, or they'll send me something directly saying, hey, I've got this thing, I've got this demo, would you like to give it a try? And I've never thought to for some of the bigger ones, just send them a little, here's a video I made, upload it privately, just carve, slice it out and upload it saying, here's me playing your demo. Never thought of doing that.
Usually just put in that same email something like, if I'm not on your press list yet, feel free to add my email to it. And usually they won't hesitate, because they already have the proof that you will provide coverage, because you prefaced the coverage before even getting something from them.
Yeah, cool. So when you're doing this PR for Katana or for whoever, what are the milestones that you go through from start to finish or is there ever a finish? Do you always just keep going? Because once the game's released, there's always updates.
Yes. No. Actually, some PR agencies, they like to work with retainers, which means that they get a fixed amount of money every single month, depending on, doesn't even depend on their work. It's basically just a fixed amount every single month.
Right.
I don't like that, because usually they'll keep a promise of, you'll get more results later when we do this big push, or when we do that big push, but you're still paying in the meantime. And the way I work is really with fixed fees, where I'll basically say, this is the cost of a single press release, or I'll handle your review package, which in our case is 2 press releases saying, when is it going to release? And then basically an out now. And then we send out codes before, and we follow it up until 1 month after the game is out. But usually that's where the cutoff is paid. I mean, I still keep doing stuff for them. Like if I get a request from a big creator or a big outlet or something saying, hey, can you send me a code? I'm not going to go like, no, because the dev is no longer paying me. Of course, I'm going to send that code.
Right.
But if the game is really, really popular, and they're going to continuously do updates, and it's not like 10 codes per week, but we're talking about like still getting hundreds of them, then it's a lot of work for me. And then sure, I'll talk to the developer and go like, how can I transfer this workload either to you or I keep working for you, but then we have to agree what my fee is going to be, because I can't work for free for everybody.
And it makes sense because there are some games that go into early access.
Yeah.
But mind you, every game goes into early access now, I guess. No game.
Not everyone. And then some people even tell me like, I'm planning to do an early access for this game, and depending on the game, I'll advise them not to, and just take the extra time to go into a full release on PC and console on the same day, just telling them that the accumulation of different beats over a few months is going to be less than one big one. And the impact of one big one, because maybe at some point, if you send out an early access thing just on Steam and it's really early and the polish is not there yet, then there's too much of a risk that you lose that contact then and there, because they'll see it. They'll make their judgment call right there. And then if you're emailing them back like, hey, we're in full release right now, 6 months later, they might have already made that decision, I don't care, 6 months ago. So there's a risk attached to something like that as well.
Well, there are some games though that they do like they have like a regular plan. So
a roadmap,
a roadmap, right? And they're like, okay, this is this is release 1 and release 2, and so I guess the retainer would make sense then, because they know we're going 1.0 in 2026, but we're gonna do 4 releases this year, right? We're gonna do 4.
Just happened where I was helping the Spell Brigade. A really well-performing game, by the way, and they're getting close to like 1 million players.
Nice.
It's a Vampire Survivors-like, but it's online co-op. Well, they did it before Vampire Survivors had it. And it's doing really well, but like I just had to send out update 13. And I was really disappointed myself with the results of the opens, basically, and the coverage for it. Right. But this was kind of one of those, hey, can you send this out real quick? And then the prep work and the thought that I put into it wasn't the same amount as I would usually do, because it was more like in a rush. And it's only after seeing the results that I started thinking critically about some stuff. Like, we put update 13 like in text right there in the key art of the press release. And then if I think about myself, like if I were to get a press release where there's something like update 13 in it, I would be like, did I miss the 12 previous ones, or should I care about this? Versus if he would have just named it like the Graveyard update or the Halloween update or something, it would have gotten more clicks, because just that number already puts distance between you and the reader.
Yeah, I'm playing Soulframe, and they're doing preludes. So they're doing, before they get to early access, they're doing these little, I don't even know what number they're on now. I played Prelude 5. I'm not even sure what they're at now, and I'm kind of lost as to where I am with Soulframe. Yeah, I really like the game. I want to get back to it, but I don't know where I'm at with it.
The only people who care about that update number are the ones who are actively playing it every day, but they don't need a press release or an email telling them this update is there. They will get that straight from Steam.
Yeah. So that's a good point. And you kind of answered my next question, is how do you handle it early access versus, the full release? Because it just, to us, outside looking in, it seems like every game's going in early access. And I know I have some friends, I'd be like, you want to play this game? No, I don't play early access games anymore. I wait till 1.0. And I'm like, okay.
An easy shortcut there is bigger focus on creators, because the main output that we get for a game coming out is a review. Press-wise, I mean, like written. But OpenCritic and Metacritic, they both don't allow early access reviews for a game. So we can get previews out of those people. And actually, if I'm aiming for previews, I'd much rather get something like this, like in a print magazine, because people are still excited about a game coming out, and the previews are always positive. I don't recall a negative preview being printed in something like Edge magazine or something, because if it's negative, they won't ask to run a preview article. So they'll mostly positive, but then they can get much more critical when they're actually doing a review. But the focus when the game is in early access is mostly creators, because they don't really care if it's not 1.0. As long as there's something playable, shareable, they can play it on their stream or they can make a video about it. That's even a demo is good enough for reaching out to a lot of those people. But written press, you really need a full release, or they won't care, or not as much at least.
I like demos, and I play a lot of demos just because the game's not out yet, and I want to see what it's like. And it gives me a chance. I can do 3 demos in an evening. I'll do a 3-hour stream, and I'll bang out 3. I'll bang out 3 demos. We lost you. There we go. Oops. Something happened there. Little internet clip. But yeah, sometimes I don't have 3 hours to, sink into one game, right? And so it allows me to. The demo's only like an hour. I did Rod of Esca. I'm not even gonna say it right. Albert's new demo. It was less than an hour for me to do his little piece. And sometimes that's all the demo is just a quick little. I did the demo of Dispatch the other night.
Yep. And that's, by the way, a funny thing that you mentioned is that I see more coverage for demos than for early access games most of the time, because they get included in like lists of, hey, here are 10 promising games you should really check out.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, people don't make that kind of list for all of the early access titles they've played because they're too spread apart. Whereas demos are usually centered around something like Steam Next Fest, or ID at Xbox has a bunch of demos uploaded at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some external communication around that as well. Whereas if you are going into early access, it's usually just you talking about your one single game. And the best you can hope for is a preview from written press. So yeah, shortcut there for indie devs listening to this is focus mostly on creators when it's early access.
That's a good point. What has been your favorite launch campaign that you worked on? Or favorites, or maybe you don't have to say which one.
There's multiple. That's the problem. Like just this year, we started the year off with Spilled, which is like you mentioned, a really short game is nice. You can beat Spilled 100% in like 50 minutes if you want to.
Oh wow, okay.
For that reason, it's a cheap game. We were actually scared of refunds because, as you know, if you play something under 2 hours on Steam, you can refund it. But it's just such a wholesome game made by a solo dev living on a boat, and it's a game about using your boat to clean up oil spills. So the story there just basically sells itself. It's so cool. It's, by the way, also nominated right now for the indie self-published indie game awards. So that's really one of my favorites to work on this year. It's also wildly positive and just exploded as soon as it released.
Okay.
And I also worked on the Kickstarter earlier last year, which was also a success. And then this year we had Off was a really interesting one to work on as well, because that was from a Belgian game, and I didn't know it was Belgium at all. Fangamer is a USA company that usually does physical releases of other people's games, but this was the first one they were doing in-house, and they were basically porting a free game because the original Off released in 2008 or something, 2007,
right,
in French, and it was a Belgian game made by a solo dev, and it's very popular because Deltarune and Undertale, they were inspired by it. But everybody who is a fan of Off hates that you have to mention the more popular or more widely known game as hey, Off, and then immediately go this inspired this bigger game, and they hate that, and I understand why. So it was a difficult, as a PR agent, a difficult balance to strike, because at one end you don't want to upset the fans, but on the other hand you kind of need that did you know about Toby Fox also doing part of the music kind of stuff to get the attention of the press, but the fans really hate that you need to leverage this kind of stuff to mention the game. But it was a big success, lots of positive reviews. It released on Steam and on Switch right now, getting really positive coverage for being basically an RPG Maker game from 2007.
Are you getting a lot of games being updated for the Switch 2 where they may not have been?
No.
Okay.
No, because up until a month ago, indie devs weren't getting Switch 2 dev kits. It's only really recently that they started sending them out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if you get the dev kits, they are still pretty critical about giving you that enhanced on Switch 2 or that visibility that comes with being in a smaller section of the eShop. And that's basically what everybody wants, because for the first time ever, the Nintendo basically just upgraded their platform, and they kept the entire library of their previous titles on the same eShop. But that means that your new console launches with thousands of titles, and that visibility you normally get from launching your game on the new platform is totally gone.
Oh,
Like in the first few months, it was just their first party and big third-party partners that they worked together with. But as an indie dev, there was no chance of getting a dev kit or getting your game on there day one.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. I know a guy.
So that's only starting now. A lot of the games that I've helped this year will only have their Switch 2 port ready next year.
Oh, okay. Right. Or they have to pay a porting company to do it. Someone who can port their, who does that for a living and can quickly port their game over. But again, that costs money. But there's pros and cons to both, right? So, how do you build the relationship that you have with journalists? Like you said, you reached out, like IGN, for example, or just small and, big journalists, small journalists, or big creators, like your, I'm thinking of like your, your Co-Courage or your Force Gaming or, those bigger guys who you have to actually pay to play your games.
The important thing here is that Pirate PR actually doesn't do paid promotion campaigns. It does happen through our clients, but it's always going to be the client paying the creator directly if there is an interest there. And I'm actually very careful about paying creators through Pirate PR. Basically,
you're off my list.
No, it has happened, but when I do it through Pirate PR, it's basically because the game I'm working for has like money given to them by the government, and they have to spend it on another Belgian company, for example. And then they can't spend that money directly to pay like a US creator because then it's an outside investment. So then it has to go through me. But that's an exception. Usually I try to avoid doing paid campaigns because the risk there is as soon as you tell someone, hey, do you want to play my game? Here is a big amount of money to play it. Then every single game afterwards that I contact them for, they're going to expect money for it as well. And 80% of my clients are like solo devs or duo devs or something. They hardly have the money to pay me. I even do a lot of pro bono work where I'm sending out press releases through Pirate PR, but I'm not even getting paid for it. And then it boggles the mind if you then get an agency telling you like, hey, that press release you just sent me for this solo dev, I've got this big creator who can make a video for only 110,000 euros for 1 hour stream. Like, you're kind of missing the point here of what kind of budgets these people work with. Like, you're asking 110,000. I'm telling you that pitching a 1,100 euro budget would be a big ask for them because they have to get a loan for it. Like,
a friend of mine was telling me one of the Diablo guys who plays Diablo, one of the Diablo streamers, he openly says, I only play games I get paid to play. Yeah,
but that's okay. And I respect that. And there's even some, and actually, by the way, there's a cool tip here that I learned from one, I'll not name them, but one creator that I really thought was a good idea. And instead of asking money for a stream, he basically had a skip the queue fee. And I really like that idea because they can still be critical of a game and they can even tell their audience like, yes, or they don't even have to disclose the fact that they are getting paid because they're not getting paid to make the video. They're getting paid to put the order of when they play that game a little bit higher up in their preference, which I thought was a really smart idea to get around it.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I know myself, I have lots of games I want to play, and I stream 2 nights a week. Sometimes I do some other times, but Mondays and Wednesdays are when I play. And it's like, okay, when am I going to slot this in? When am I going to, and for Steam Next Fest, I make an effort of saying, okay, this day is going to be this, my friends here. And then this day is going to be Pirate PR. So then I said, okay, it's Pirate PR day. So I grab all of, figure out what games I'm going to play, 3 or 4 games I'm going to play. And I usually have 4. Just in case one ends up quickly early or something. I usually have 3 or 4 games lined up. Like you saw that when I did that for you last week, right? Yeah. So I tried to but then I know there's other other games I want to play. And people are like, you going to play this game? I was like, I just don't have time. I just don't have time. There's no available slot for me to put it in. So I like that.
And then the way you told me, like the original question was like, how do you build that relationship with press?
Oh, that's right.
It's basically me just reaching out to them, usually through press releases, which are, you can consider those like a shotgun approach, like it's sent to everybody as long as the genre applies. But you also pre-seed some contacts beforehand where you'll go like, this is the press release I'm sending out in 3 days because I like you. You're getting this press release 3 days earlier, and not just because I like you, but also because I trust you. That's the most important part of it. Like, I know that I can send this to you and it won't leak out into the world, then you can send them some information beforehand, and they're really excited about that. The same with demos. Like, there's no value in a demo. Everybody can publicly access it. It's free. But if you have that demo available 3 weeks before it's going to go public because you've got a marketing beat with demo out now, you can use those 3 weeks beforehand to already reach out to some creators and go like, here is the content for you beforehand. Please don't go live with it just yet, or you can give them an embargo a little bit later. But usually their embargo will be as soon as the demo is publicly available to everyone. But you're giving them extra time to prep it. Not so important for Twitch streamers because they'll probably just go live as soon as they can. But for like YouTube creators that edit their videos, these 3 extra weeks are vital.
I would love more time. Oftentimes people will say, do you want, the game is relaunching on Wednesday, it's embargoed on Tuesday, and it's Monday when they send me. I just don't have time. I'd love to play your game. I'd love to, play it, make a little video and publish it. I just don't have time because you just don't give me. They don't give me any time. They don't give me there's no window for me to, you know.
And that's where I usually make the difference for the bigger clients. And when I say bigger clients, I don't mean like giant stuff, but just the people who pay me for more than a single press release. Then I can also give them more of my time and do such outreach beforehand. Because obviously I can't do the same kind of efforts for somebody just paying for a single press release, which, by the way, my prices are public. It's 500 euros for sending out a single press release that they write. So like that's the cheapest entry level. But I can't be working a full month and going like, hey, do you want a key for this? Do you want a key for this? Do you want a key for this? For that small amount. So that's usually reserved for the bigger clients who do that kind of review package with me. And they get the follow-ups of first the demo, and then the full game is almost coming out, and we're sending codes for that, and then it gets ported to consoles, and then we're sending codes for that. And then usually the relationship there with me and the client in that case, like not the press, is one of a year.
What do you like those key sites? Your key mailers, your terminals, your
I like them.
Engine.
I like them, but some people rely on them 100%, and I don't like to do that. And my personal formula for success so far has been my own press list first, and then I also add press engine and key mailer on top of that, just to cover my bases a little bit more.
Right.
Like, the downside of doing this is I'll have overlap, and it takes me extra time, because every time I send somebody a code, I have to add them to a spreadsheet. And then when somebody asks them on another platform, I'll go like, you already got this code from me a month ago on this via this method. But in case you'd forgotten, here is your code that you received a month ago. Because some people will try to double dip.
Well, it's not that they double dip; it's that I often forget. So I
don't mind.
I don't use the key sites much anymore because you guys.
But they help. They help.
When I first started and I wanted to do more, they helped them tremendously, and I got most of my stuff from them. But I'd forget. Right, yeah. I'd see something like, oh, that's interesting. So I'd see it on Keymailer, and I'd click the apply, and then I forget about it. And then I see it 3 days later on Press Engine, and I would do the same thing. It's not that I'm trying to double dip; it's just I forgot.
One of the really big advantages is if you're not just organically waiting for them to ask a key, which you can do on all of those platforms, but they also all offer some kind of outreach where you are offering somebody a key. And what I don't have in my own system, like I can tag people by genre, sure. But what those systems usually have is you can search by game. And then if you're working on a specific game and there is a close similar game to it, like if we take the example of Katana, Dead Cells is really similar to it, then I can look up everybody who played Dead Cells.
Oh, interesting.
And reach out specifically to those people. And you can even order them, not just by they played this game, but also like how recently did they play this similar game? And then you know that they are still active. And this saves a lot of time.
That's why I get messages from people saying, hey, you played, this game is similar to one that you've played before. Yep. That's why I've gotten those in the past. I still do.
And if you get that kind of email, it means that the PR or the indie dev or the publisher is doing their work correctly because they're verifying your content versus their current game that they're working on. Versus just a blank approach of, hey, everybody, here's a key, and just send it to everybody.
Yeah.
Because you can lose people that way, and it has happened for me as well, where just me putting the barrier of what makes a cozy game, and then sending people information for a game that they didn't think cozy is sometimes the reason for them to unsubscribe.
Yeah. I go directly to the PR like you, or I'll go right to the PR company. Like I told you, that one game I played, and I played the demo Saturday night. I just looked them up, found, PR@GameNameGame.com, and I just emailed them and said, I just played your demo. Here's a link to it, and here's my stuff. I'd appreciate. And the guy emailed me back on Sunday. So sure, loved your stuff here. That was a Sunday. I wasn't even expecting it. I wasn't even expecting anything from him till Monday or Tuesday or something. But he emailed me back Sunday so Sunday afternoon I fired up the game and kept playing. So, but yeah, I just reach out directly. I use I get a lot of press releases in my email, or I go to different sites that have them. And I just read through them and figure out, okay, because I'll miss a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of the shows like Galaxy yesterday. I made note of a bunch of stuff. There were some play tests, which I tagged, and there's a few other demos, which
there was one of ours in it as well, Edenfall.
Mm-hmm.
The shape-shifting adventure game.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. I don't know if I knew it was yours, but...
Yeah, the press release only went out later, and then you'll probably have it in your inbox unread somewhere.
Probably. It's only 8. It's as I said, it's 8:00 in the morning when we did this, so I have not really started my day yet.
Yeah, and then to show the other side of things, I'm in the European side of things, like in Belgium.
Yeah.
So for us, the show started airing at 9:00 in the evening,
and
then we had to wait for IGN to upload the trailer, and it was like 10:00. 11:30, and we're us sitting there like, is it going to happen? Because usually you don't get the confirmation ahead of time, like, yeah, here is your trailer, it's unlisted, here's the link. It happens, but it's rare. And then you kind of have to wait for that to happen, because if you don't get the embargo from a showcase like Galaxies directly, where they tell you like, yeah, you can mail out at this time, then basically we wait for everybody else to start posting about it, and okay, it's safe now, send out.
Right. Okay, so you send the trailers to like IGN and these other places ahead
usually
of time?
Yes, but if there's a big showcase like Galaxies or something, they handle this for the developers.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Galaxy then connects with IGN,
which is confusing.
I've always wondered, because I watch something and then I see the trailer from IGN like minutes later. I'm like, how did you get that trailer, and how did you
precede it? That's what I mentioned earlier. And then with Acclaim, we did the same thing. We had the Acclaim showcase, and we were hosting it ourselves.
Yeah.
But IGN, GameSpot, and Future Game Show, and Giant Bomb, they all hosted the showcase as well. And we give them the trailers ahead of time, even in the order that they will appear in the show. So they upload it in the same order to their channels.
Oh, nice. I did a live reaction for on Twitter, on TikTok, for the Acclaim showcase.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm old, and I remember Acclaim from the 80s and the old Acclaim games. So when I heard they were coming back, and I know you and I've emailed about an interview with the CEO, and I understand that he's way too busy and he's got way too many reader requests, and I'm way down on that list. But because I emailed you about that, but that. I was excited to see them back, and then the game that was launched, it was launched that day, and then I played it that night. It was hilarious. It was great. And it was like, this happened today, and I'm playing this game, and then the next day people were talking about it. I played it last night. It's a big deal.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I liked it. What metrics do you use to measure the success?
The developers will always use the same metrics in the end, and that's sales. And then before sales are a metric that they can look at, it's wish lists, basically. And that's funny, because everybody looks at Steam wish lists as the only measurable success. But you also have platform wish lists and platform sales, obviously. But it's just such a blind spot until it actually happens. But yeah, for them, it's basically those kind of things. For me, it's coverage. Like, the metric for me, the very first one is for myself, but that the developer doesn't care about it. It's basically just, I sent out an email to 10,000 people. How many of them opened it? How many of them clicked it? That's important to me and no one else, basically.
Of course.
But then the one that's important to the developer as well, and to me to check, is how did this convert? Like this press release we worked on for months and sent out yesterday. How today did this convert to people writing about it, people sharing the trailer, people playing the demo? And we start logging it and saying, okay, this big creator started playing it. Like with Katana, we could clearly see a jump when Splattercats played the game. He went up a few wish lists that very same day or the day after.
Who was that? I don't know that one.
Splattercats.
I don't know that. I don't know.
It's a really cool indie content creator.
Okay.
Done a lot of good stuff for us as well. Like, you've got a lot of those, like Alexa, Wonderbots and stuff. Like, you can really see, or like Clemmy, Best Indie Games. He does those... Not really playthroughs of individual games, but he always makes lists.
He does his own little showcase too. Yes. I've watched his showcase. Or
there's 4 of them now. Yeah, he's doing 1 per season.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
because Galaxy does 2. I was at a little get together with some here where I live, and there's a little game developer community, and so there's a guy, he's a game developer, he runs it, and then there was a lady who does PR for, she works for the different companies, and then there was me I was there as the creator side, so we were kind of talking about how it works, how we handle stuff like that, and we were talking about all the different game shows, all the different, there's the black voices in gaming, and there's the mix, right? So there's all these others, and so you have to prioritize which ones you can, and you'll have to pay to get into those, right? For the most part.
Depends. Like the game we had in Galaxies yesterday was in the showcase for free. But yeah, your chances of getting approved into that are much lower, and you have to pitch basically something important. Like you have to give them something. It's not just, here's my small update with a new trailer. No, it has to be something exclusive, like announcing a game or announcing a release date, so that it has value for them. And even then, it's a coin flip. So usually my clients are submitting to like 10 events at a time, hoping that one of them bites. And then when one of them says yes, that's where our PR planning happens alongside that event.
Right. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because I saw a couple of like Mouse PI, which is one I've been following for ages. They finally announced a date. I know, because we've been all... Yeah, well, next year. But yeah, but they still announced the date. It doesn't matter. Yeah. They could have said 20... It
matters to a friend of mine because he picked it as one of his titles for a fantasy critic game we are playing. And it's like, shoot, it's next year.
Yeah, so in that case, then people care, yes. But again, it doesn't matter. We finally got a date, right? Yeah. It's like Silksong. We never knew what was happening with Silksong. It was just... And
for
then,
many years, yeah.
For many years, and then there was a showcase, and then boom, there it was, September 4th. And it was like, oh my God, that's like in 2 weeks,
The response to this was basically like everybody announcing their release dates in August during Gamescom, and then Silksong going like, hey, we're releasing 4th of September, and everybody going, man, we've been planning this for months. And then suddenly this bombshell drops.
Yeah, Zilkos, the guy who does the Pompeii game, he had been planning it. Him and I had been chatting about it. I had it scheduled because I knew which his release date was. And I said, I'm going to play this on release for you. I had played his demo. I was all set. Then he messaged me and he said, it's not happening. Silksong's coming out. I'm pushing it back. I'm like, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Oh, you highlighted something.
No, it's just for myself to see like where I'm reading.
Okay.
The metric for success, basically for me and the developer early on, is how much coverage are we getting out of it.
So do you use Google Alerts for all the different games, so then you can see when?
Yeah, but it's
that fills up your inbox.
Not inbox, because I use a tool called Game Planer, and that's your next question, so that leans into it really well.
Okay, all right.
A friend of mine made a tool called Game Planer. That's basically a Discord bot where you feed in your game title, and then it'll send you alerts when somebody's playing on Twitch, and it will even tell me how many people are watching that stream. So I don't have to go open it, but I can just like scroll through an entire feed of Discord pop-ups and notice by the amount of people watching if I should pay attention, yes or no. And then also YouTube videos going live, and then Google is also integrated into it, but it's basically just my own alert being sent there, but then I don't have to check in 3 or 4 different places, but I just got one central hub.
Yeah.
And there's also Impress from Ashley Gwinnell. He also got something similar called Coverage Bot, where he also will track something like this. And then in your own Discord that you set up for the game, like privately, you can send all of these. So really good tools to use. When you get notified of like, hey, this person is now playing your game, or this big article went up, or this person tweeted about it, all of those things in one location.
That's cool.
But it doesn't... Ashley's tool will do it, or is already doing it, Coverage Bot, where you can also see the output for it. The way I'm currently doing it, but it's under... I will still see if I keep doing it or not, because it's too expensive. The other tool I'm using is Coverage Book. So not bot, but book. And that's basically just a depository, or what you can know,
repository.
A repository, thanks, for where you list all of those things, and then you've got numbers for how many times it's viewed, shared, But the metrics for that are outside of my own. So like some other PR agents will put like a spreadsheet for all of their lists of coverage, but then how trustworthy the results are of how many people have seen it is usually too much based on what they have been provided of internal numbers, but everybody bloats their own numbers, like Even Press. If you ask them what are your monthly viewership, you can usually divide their actual number they send to you by 4 at least, and then you'll get closer to the accurate amount. But that adds up, and if you were to provide just your own guesses there, and you go like, oh, this press release was seen by 50 million people, cool. Now explain to the developer why it only got 400 wish lists.
Yeah.
So I try to get as close to the reality as possible with that. And then Coverage Book is something that's expensive, but it really does get more accurate and help me correctly predict like where the views were coming from in a certain period.
Right. Yeah, it's got to be a tireless job trying to doing all that tracking.
Like just for a game called Into the Grid, we were wondering about like, hey, 3 days ago, there was a giant spike in our wish list suddenly. Where did it come from? And we couldn't find it anywhere until I found the video by Angry Centaur Gaming that did a video of like upcoming games, but it didn't tag the game in the description. But luckily he did tag the game in the plate. He picked that game as the main game he played, basically, where if you create a YouTube video, you can assign one title to it. He picked it. And I was just browsing by title and going recent, and I saw it like, oh, this video has 99,000 views. I'm pretty sure that's the reason for the boost in views. But it's really hard to track it, especially in something like Google Alerts, if you've got a game that is not really search engine friendly. Like I just said, Into the Grid. Guess what movie came out recently? Tron. Guess what frame they use? Hack Into the Grid. Fun. That's our tagline as well. Like, there goes all your search. 99% of the feeds I was getting, like really that much, every day,
I think it was Tron.
False positives. It was about Tron.
Yep. That's why I play games.
That's
with
where
great
tools
content.
help, because Ashley's tool, a coverage bot, but I still need to investigate more into it. The cool thing is he has to first approve outlets as being game outlets. So that already kind of filters the results that you'll get as trustworthy things, because sure, they'll be tied to the game because he's only tracking coverage coming from well-known gaming outlets, not just from a newspaper that doesn't cover games or something.
Yeah, your IGNs, your PC Gamer, or your...
But there's risk-reward, because that kind of system also has the risk that you lose out on outlets that you don't already know, or outlets that don't usually cover games, but this time they decided to do it, and those are still really valuable as well. So because there's a lot of work that goes into coverage logging, and it's usually unpaid work because no developer wants to put money on the table to get an accurate log of all of their outputs. They put this as a responsibility on us. But it's not something I can do for every game I work on, because it would amount to days of work sometimes for only a single send-out. But for my own sake, it's useful to just see, like, did this game convert well, yes or not?
So with all the trouble social media's had over the last couple of years, do you still find that it's your best way of communicating? And there's you got your X, you got your Blue Sky, Mastodon.
What is this thing? I still call it Twitter. I refuse to call it the other thing.
Mastodon was the big thing when Elon went crazy for a while.
Here's an idea: don't call your social platform for something that went extinct. Because it kind of feels like they did. Blue Sky is keeping up, though. Like, from what I see, a lot of indie game developers move to Blue Sky, and as a result, I'm also posting there some of my content. But the gamers haven't moved on yet, so it feels like you're talking to an echo chamber a little bit too much there. And when I'm talking about something on Blue Sky, I'm mostly going to aim it at like advice for developers or reaching out to content creators, because some of them moved over. But if you also want to reach with the same efforts like end gamers, like the people who will buy your game, I don't think the bulk of them moved over just yet. Which is sad, because like just ethically, I would really want to drop ship on Twitter and move out, because I don't like the ownership of it right now and how they're handling things. But if I just look at my own results, I think I built my own brand of pirate PR, basically on ranting on Twitter about here's how things are going bad right now and how they should be, or just sharing insights that people for some reason have kept under the hood and didn't want to share before. And I'm just going like, I've got nothing to lose. Info drop. And that really worked well for me. So I'm still on there.
I've appreciated some of your posts, and I've changed some of my habits because of things that you said. I'm like, oh, that was a good idea. You know what? I'm going to start doing that. Like, if I don't get a positive response, I will email back and just say, okay, cool. Thank you for consideration. Maybe next time, keep me on your. If you have a list, put me on your list for the.
Yeah,
for the next
that'll
one.
go a long way, because next time they have a game that has a lower requirements. Because sometimes it's the publisher or the developer who says, like, don't send out codes unless they are this big. We can kind of push back on that a little bit. But if they make an ultimatum of like, no, it has to be this, then it's hard for us to go. Yeah, what can you do exactly? But then your kind response to that puts you on a higher bracket for the next game where we don't have such a cutoff.
That's what I figured. So
yeah.
Plus, I'm Canadian. We're always nice.
Flemish people too. We are actually one of my biggest downsides is I don't like nagging at people, and something that I should probably do more as a PR agent is going to people like, hey, you got a code from us 2 months ago and we still didn't see coverage for it. But I just don't. And I'm just like, I'm behind the scenes. I'll give a kind poke or something, or I'll send the next press release, or I'll reach out to those people like, hey, did you get our code correctly or something? But I'm way too kind about it. I'm way too like, hey, yeah, if you find some time, maybe give us some time of your own, stuff like that. It's too.
If I get a code, I try to slot it in within the next week.
Yeah.
Right. So if you send me a code for a particular game, I will try my best to slot it in.
From Pirate PR, nobody will ever gotten hey, you got a code from us and you didn't create content yet. Wah, wah, wah. You'll never get an email like this. Yeah. But if it happens for like 5 games in a row where I'm sending out codes and I never see anything in return, that 6th code is not going to arrive.
No,
basically something like that.
And that makes sense. Yeah. That's why I try to.
That's different if they ask one because they went through the effort of filling in a form, versus if I'm the one offering a code. Obviously, then it doesn't count because they didn't ask for something. I'm just sending them a code directly in their inbox. If they don't create coverage for it, all good because I was the one reaching out.
If I get sent something saying, "Hey, would you like to do this?" If I can't, no, I just can't. I'll decline it.
And that's the way to go about it.
And I'll just go in and I'll just decline it and say, you know what, I just can't. I just don't have, I just don't have time to do it.
The thing that bothers me most, and it happens too frequently, is freelancers basically going, I'm requesting this code for this really big site. And I know that they write for that big site because I can see their credits on the big site going like, hey, this article is by me and by me. But they'll request like every game that we do. And you know that they have problems pitching this game to the bigger outlets, which I understand. But the order should be that they pitch the game first, see if the big outlet wants coverage for it, and then only ask the code. If you work the other way around, but I can also kind of understand why. Because
if I pitch IGN and said I'm going to do Catanot, and then I can't get it.
But there's a simple in-between solution here, which is just reach out and say like, hey, I'm going to pitch this to IGN, or I'm going to pitch this to GameSpot, which I'm a freelancer for. If they are okay with it, will you send me a code? And I don't think a single PR agency in the world will go, no, you can't have one at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
But the problem exists when you're working for like a publisher, for example, and I always share the list of people who got codes, and it's very public, so they can just scroll through it. And it happens very rarely, but it does happen that when I'm working on like 6 games from a single publisher, they'll go like, why did you send this guy 6 codes already? And you didn't see a single coverage item for any of their games. And it's just like going up, yeah, but if they do just one of them, it's worth it. But
yeah, I know. And you want to make sure they're not selling it or, doing whatever.
If I ever find them selling it, you'll know what I do.
I know. I enjoy reading. I love your shaming. So keep it up. I love reading through it so we're just gonna wrap this up. I've taken way too much of your time. What do you look for? I guess you've already answered that. What you look for when you're working for the creators, you're looking for people who are going to play the game for one, and I guess sometimes size matters, but that's more because of the developer has put a
Yeah, but just the developer, myself as well. If I get a request from somebody who just goes like, yes, I want key, and they don't give an explanation, and they have a YouTube channel with exactly 1 follower, of course they're not going to get a code, because at that point, they're just a consumer.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't become a creator until you've got an audience, and that cutoff can differ from game to game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like... That's why I always have that field where people can explain, like, what are your plans for the game? And sometimes even smaller creators can convince me of sending them a code, because they'll say, like, it's not just this YouTube video, even though I link my YouTube channel as the main channel, but I'll also tweet about it. I'll also make a TikTok video. I'll also post about it on Instagram. I'm going to stream it on Twitch. I'll do all of these things for that one piece of content that I'm making just to promote it. And that also adds up. And if I see effort like this, who am I to say no?
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, I try to fill in that box to say I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a live stream here, and I multi-stream everywhere. So if I'm streaming, I'm streaming everywhere. So and then I try to slice it up into little shorts and reels, depending on if there's a funny moment. TikTok makes it easy because they're like, here's a highlight from your session, and I sometimes will slice that up and repost it and do whatever. So cool. You know what? I think we're going to wrap it up here. This was awesome, Robbie. Thank you so much for taking time out of your extremely, as I'd learned, busy schedule. I learned some things about how you guys interact. I've always wondered how you guys do stuff, and I'm sure I've chatted with some of the local PR people and other stuff, but to kind of go behind and know your process and stuff, that was it was awesome. And what do you have? Anything else coming up? Anything else you want to plug? Anything that's embargoed you want to sneak?
No, nothing that comes to mind.
When I go to my email, am I going to see an email? See some emails from you?
If I'm gonna, I don't need to promote myself. If I'm going to do anything at all, it's if you play a game and you liked it, leave it a review on Steam. Let that be my call to action, because it makes such a difference. I think less than 1% of people that play games actually review them and leave feedback, and the feedback is also important, but just that little thumbs up or something, that makes a difference in visibility. So let that be the call to action for everybody listening.
I'm going to try and clip that into a video. You know what? That is something I'm very bad at. That I am bad at that. I will even see the tweets from people saying, "Hey, if you liked my game, go and leave." And I'm like, "Oh crap! Oh yeah." I'm very, because I like a lot of the games I play. Like I played 3 of your games. I did not go and click the thumbs up. I didn't,
Steam isn't the end-all, be-all platform. Well, it's the major one, of course, these days, and it's gaining popularity like every single month, where people are going, I might not buy the next console and just get a gaming PC. It's happening. But even on consoles or anything else, like if you don't like posting a review on something on Steam, you can also just post about, like, I played this game today and I really enjoyed it on your own favorite social media. But just all of those small voices, it adds up.
Yeah, I'm very bad about going in and I played a lot of games. I need to do that. I've got to go back and click on and at least click the thumbs up. Maybe not leave a because you can see I've only played it for 2 hours. So somebody might not make, if he's only played it for an hour and he says it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They might not believe me, right?
I just usually do a review in process in that case, where I'll go like, I like what I played, and I'll get back to this review and edit it later when I've played more, something like that.
Okay, that's a good. All right, that's a good little note. All right, cool. All right, awesome. All right, well, thank you, sir. I will let you get back to your PRing. You probably got emails to send and you've got stuff to do. And I look forward to whatever you have next. I look forward to your next rant on X, and I got to do a better job of checking out your bloody good reviews. I always thought that was a different person, to be honest.
All me.
I always thought it was a separate person.
It's actually the biggest compliment I get on an almost daily basis is whenever I have to explain when can I meet the rest of the team, and I have to explain it's just me.
I thought there was more than you. I thought there was. I thought there was just more than you. There was other. Yeah, I love it. So, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. Appreciate you being here, and I will send you all the recordings, and you can do whatever you want. You'll see the video, and have a good rest of your day or evening. I guess it's late o'clock. It's late for you, right? 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's okay. Still got 2 more working hours to go.
There you go. Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and we will see you guys next time. I'm hoping it's going to be the business of branding with the branding lady, so Jolie. So thanks for that. And how do we end this? Here we go. We're going to end the stream.